Hi everybody, welcome back. Time for another kiln unloading. I have some bad news. I made a mistake. I was looking at how to hold the cones up in the kiln. I'd seen other people online put their witness cones into clay. I didn't look it up, I just got on with it and I put them in a wet bit of clay. For some reason I thought that would be okay, didn't even think about it. We were videoing, if you remember, and that's caused a problem. Let me bring the camera over and show you what has happened. Make sure I get it back in line. Basically, the witness cones that were in the clay have totally exploded. Silly me. Where it is sad is that then has meant that in the bowls, part of the witness cone is attached to the bowl outside and inside, and the dust from the witness cones are in that one, and I think the witness cone is the same at the bottom on that one. It doesn't look like, looking down the back, I did it on the bottom floor as well, it doesn't look like we have that problem down there. But, you know, it just shows you, you know, we just check I'm in the right place. That just shows you that we, you know, we're all learning. I'm still in that early stage. This is probably only about the 10th kiln opening for Glaze that I've done. What can I say? Absolutely gutted, but there you go. So a lot of these, I have my notebook because I've tried, if you remember, my aim was, I did a lot of bowls and some plates. My thoughts was to try and think dinner service. What would I want? What would I like? And then I've done those test bowls for the Mayco. So let's have a look at those first for the Mayco colours. This one is the one that I wax resisted and just did the colours without any extras. If we have a little look, I'll bring it around to the thing. So, right. So Lavender Mist, Norse Blue. That's quite nice because we get a lot of conversations about sea blues and that's quite nice. This one here, let me just read it to us so we know. The Aurora Green is supposed to have blue fleckles. I think there's a little blue fleckle there, and on the outside none. And I never saw any of the fleckles in the jar, and I need to go back to where I bought it from and question that because that's not how that's supposed to look. The Midnight Rain is interesting. I'd love to see that on a bowl in its own right. It's obviously got you know, like, it looks like the jade running in it. Then I did the Vert Lustre that was more metallic, and then I did Albany Slip Brown, which is nice, isn't it? That is one that you need to get more layers. The more layers you put, so you do the full 3 layers, you get this interaction with so very pleased with that. So that's a great sample pot. And what that has meant was then we did Winterwood with all of those on it. Though I did Bluestone and I did River Rock on it just to see what it would do. So let's have a look. This one is the Winterwood base. And everybody that was watching will see I did 3 coats of the Winterwood base on the inside, then with 2 coats of the colour, and then on the outside I did 2 coats of the colour and 3 coats of the Winterwood over the top. So if we have a look at this blue one here is the Midnight Rain. That's actually gone, that's run a lot over this part, hasn't it? On the bottom half. The next one, let's go the Mayco way first. This one here is the Lavender Mist. The next one is Aurora Green. That's the one I made the mistake on. So the Aurora Green on the outside and the Aurora Green on the inside. The next one is the Norse Blue. Norse Blue is very nice, especially on the outside of that. Then River Rock. River Rock didn't work. But the blue, what's it called? Bluestone, which is a matte finish. Bluestone's interesting. It did do something. The Winter Wood, to me, is not as good as a whole as the sandstone. So let me show you the sandstone. The sandstone, it's like it's a bit more glossy, but again, right, let's go around these and have a look. So this first one here is the Norse Blue. I love the Norse Blue on the outside. That on the outside of any dish, and that's the plain Norse Blue at the bottom. Sorry, the plain sandstone at the bottom is absolutely beautiful. Love that a lot. Would help if I put my glasses on, wouldn't it? Put my glasses on. Yeah, that is lovely. And then next to that is the Aurora Green. If that had the blue fleckles in, that would have been more dramatic as well. But and on the inside, there's only one blue fleckle there. Where are we going next? Norse Blue. Next one, Lavender Mist. That's really nice. This one, oh, what's it called? Midnight Rain. Obviously didn't need so many coats. I've done a 6, haven't I? I've done a cone 6. Probably with a 10-minute hold pushes it to near a cone 7. And that's what I said. Crystals do more running, and I've got some pit holes there. So that wasn't as happy. There is my blue stone. The Amaco blue stone over the top of the Mayco sandstone. And lastly, that was my river rock over the top of the sandstone. So interesting. Okay, let's have a little look at the ones that got a little bit ruined, but still amazingly interesting. That is on the inside. That's why I've done it. I've replicated something I've done before. So this is a Mayco glaze on the outside. This is the light magma, 3 coats. These are ones that I've just pushed in with at the head actually of a wine stopper. And on the inside, I did red on that part 3 times, 4 parts orange in the middle. But then on each of these points, I put the light magma all the way around and had it running down on all of these. So that's why we've got such reaction. Look at that. I mean, it's look at the middle of that. Now the white bits, yeah, the white bits are the explosive clay. So shame, lesson learnt. And then this one was a lot of work to try as a trial. And bits of it have worked and haven't. Again, I've ruined the inside. It's got bits of the thing, but this one is the Cobalt inside and out, 2 coats. Then Saphire Float, 2 coats. Because one of the bowls I've done before, I loved the colour of that blue. It was much more intense. But then I wanted to see this reaction. So I put a band of ancient copper around the top, only 1/2 inch. Then I did textured turquoise round it, I believe. I need to have a double check this on the photos. I'm sure I did textured turquoise and then oatmeal. So again, got a really good reaction. Oh, nearly dropped it. Well caught, Lo. Yeah, really beautiful reaction around the outside there. Okay, so then a new colour for me, but I've had jade in the past a lot. Again, this is the one with the big lump of clay in it. But this is jade, lustrous Amaco. This is all Amacos now. Amaco lustrous jade. And then I have put blue stone round the outside. Let me just check this. This is pot 13. Yeah. So this one is lustrous jade, inside and out, 3 coats. Now, I did it further up because lustrous jade, to me, I was expecting to run. It hasn't run. And then I've done a thick band, about 1 inch, 1/2 inch maybe, of blue stone. I've done at least 2 coats of that. And then I've put oatmeal on the rim and got a really, really interesting bowl. Now I'm going to pause you while I clean up before we look at the next one underneath. Okay, so I'll clean that out. And then, if you remember, I'll bring the camera over again, because if you remember, I did this system where I played with the new, that's a shame, I've even got that in other pots on the next layer down. Oh, it's a learning curve, isn't it? Okay, let's show you what we've got in here. We've got bits on this, but it was a test piece. I mean, I haven't done plates before. You saw my piece on plates, so this is a lot about let's come in a little bit more so you can actually see. There we go. Be less about me, but that's fine. So now we have, I just wonder whether I make my pieces too thin. I have that as a dome that's risen. Interestingly enough, when I fired it, if you remember, I sat it on that. So maybe that didn't help. That has pushed. That sat in the middle of that, and that has pushed that up. So there's another learning curve. This is one of my favourite colours. It's Blue Midnight. But yeah, I've got bits gone off onto that, but that's not sellable anyway, because that has a lot of movement. Sorry, a lot of movement, quite warped. And yeah, maybe I'm just doing plates too thin. I'd love to know people's opinions. I trimmed the back out. I think next time I would just leave the back in and see, but it was a good test. So let's put that one. Put that one over here actually. Okay, so one of the colours that the other thing is, maybe I'm doing all my pieces too thin, because I've got a good warp on this as well. This was, I've never done it before. This was 2 coats of oatmeal, maybe 3 coats. See, I've even got blooming bits in there. I think this is 3 coats of oatmeal. Number 4. Yeah, 3 coats of oatmeal with 2 coats of snow over the top. That's quite an interesting finish. I just wanted to try things that were different. This one, which, now that is obsidian. That is 3 coats of snow with 3 coats of obsidian over it. So the snow finish there to that line there. In effect, it should have been obsidian first, snow over. So there's the lesson. The other thing that I thought I would do is just a brush swish of the obsidian on the snow, which is quite interesting. I need to see, that hasn't liked the snow overlap. Again, I've got a bit of distortion on that bowl, so again, maybe I'm doing too hot right enough. Maybe I need to cool them down. This is very nice. This is lovely. Now let me just check what I put on here. This is 14 of this year already. Sandstone 3 and Lavender Mist. Well, I'm glad I chose the Sandstone, because this is Sandstone and Lavender Mist. That is very delicate, isn't it? Doesn't run, which is good to know. I like that. It's very nice. Okay. And then I tried to do the... Oh, I'm glad to see that the new painting these with the under the glaze, you know, the kiln wash has meant nothing is sticking to anywhere, which is nice to know. This is very interesting. maybe it was too hot, right enough. This has bubbled. This is the vintage gold with a bit of tea dust just to see what it did. But look at how this has bubbled away. Now, I'm sure it says that it's okay for a cone 6, but clearly if my kiln has pushed up, it wasn't okay for where it ended up. The cosmic tea dust has just run. I can hear it pinging a little bit. I'm just going to have a look on the bottle while we're discussing it. It says, oh, my mistake. Thin with water, going to apply 3 even coats, cone 04 bisque. Oh yeah, that's right. And glaze fire to a 5 to 6, and it may run. Now it hasn't run, but clearly that does not want to be going to the heat that I've got. So it's a shame, really. You'll see on the other video that I did talk to myself about whether I should go now to a cone 5 and drop all this down. But that is interesting. Well, I knew it was a kiln of tests. Okay, so there is my little tile plate shelf. Now this one, okay, that has moulded. Okay, so that is I've done cobalt with snow. That has stuck. That has shaped the clay round the piece that I put on there. Okay, well, there's another lesson. Looks like it's a lot of lessons this time, guys. Well, we knew, didn't we, once we saw the top bit. Right. I think the big lesson for me here is that the plates do need to be, thicker and not pushed so hard when, I bet this one's got the bit stuck to the underneath of it as well, yeah, or it has had. Okay. There we go. It's not a good day. But what is an interesting day is that's very interesting. This is blue rutile. This is iron lustre. And there's an overlap. I don't know which way round I did it. I have to go look at the pictures. And I think I couldn't see the colour of this underneath, so I don't think I wrote it down yet. I've still got, you know, when we're talking about warping, the whole inside of the plate has warped. And I have a bow here. A little bit of lessons to do there. It's also too hot. So this kiln has, because, you know, when you think about it, in this one, have an extra layer. This is the first time I've packed anything to close, and these had layers. And that may have meant that it all held the temperature for a lot longer. So that's all right. Good. The cone shelf has worked. The cone shelf has worked. So let me just brush this because I have some bits in this end as well. Well, you usually see me jumping up and down by the perfect kiln that I have, but there you go. It does show you that it can go wrong. Right, I'm just keeping fingers crossed this bottom one didn't explode, because this one didn't explode, but it does show you that it was a hot cone 7. And what has exploded in the top has actually been moving around in here, clearly, because every piece has something in it. Wow. So this is interesting. This is iron lustre with Saphire Float with an overlap, a brush flick the same, which actually can't be seen. That's quite nice. That's just iron lustre at a higher temperature. Now it's interesting because somebody put a piece on Amaco this morning, and I asked how did they get that darker in the Saphire Float, because I hadn't seen it. But yeah, it's got bits all in it. Looks like there's a load for the bin. They will be placed in a cupboard because they are all pieces for testing. So this is again the Blue Midnight. This was me looking at if I had was doing a dinner service with the Blue Midnight. It does come out beautifully, but yeah, I've got another piece in there, and I have got that oval. I didn't do any trimming on the outside of these, really. I don't think. I think it was very much what I threw, because I did manage, but I am throwing very thin. So I think there is the lesson that I'm just doing things too thin, maybe. What have we got back here? Okay, this is a nicer one. And maybe, again, too hot. We can see it's too hot. So there's Indigo Float. What I like about Indigo Float is we get these little tinges of green reactions on where there has been, and that is a lovely bowl. That's a gorgeous little bowl. So I have a feeling, I would love to know what people think, because we have talked about when things get too hot that they distort the shape. Yeah, this does nothing for me. This is Emerald Falls, I think. Let's have a look at this. This is number 10. Yeah, that's Emerald Falls just on its own. I just wanted to see what that gave us. Again, I've got some bad glazes going on, some bad reactions. And then this is lovely. This appeals to me a lot, but again, I don't know if I'm getting a true reading of it because of the heat of the kiln. And again, I have lumps in it. This is textured turquoise. I love this colour. There's the lesson of the day. This is this must be Saphire Float again. Yeah, so this was the snow and the Saphire Float over the snow. Mistake, should have been snow over the Saphire Float. The Saphire Float is gorgeous, isn't it, actually? That may be because it's hotter, but that is a lovely, lovely, lovely bowl colour. I'm not so keen on the middle colour, but if it had been over the other way, there would have been a reaction, I'm sure. I don't think I've got a Saphire Float, but I'm liking the little flicks. I thought I'd just try that and see what we ended up with. That's very nice on the white. And then I did another one of my pots where I push in to get like the it's just full of bits, to get the markings. That would have been gorgeous if it had come out without those bits. I think I did 4 of the Obsidian at the bottom because I wanted that to be jet black. And then it is Indigo Float, I believe. Let me just double check. I don't know if I've written this down. Yeah, Indigo Float, done round the top with Ancient Jasper. Too much Ancient Jasper on the outside. There's the lesson. Actually, too much Ancient Jasper everywhere, probably. The Indigo Float has been, but look how beautiful these reactions are moving down inside. That's really amazing. But again, I've got clay in every piece. This one may not have. This is me just looking at doing simple snow on the outside. Snow on the outside. And then the red on the inside from Terracolor. with some little extra blobs there so that some of the white moved down. That may have been orange actually. That looks more orange than the red. I'll check that, but that is definitely more orange than the red version. The inside, I love how that looks in the middle of that, how that pans out. Okay, and then lastly, I have got Glaze on my bottom shelf. This was the piece that I wanted to put on the wall, but it broke, and it's moved again because of the heat. It was sitting on four little pieces like this, and you can see that it has warped off of those pieces. Interestingly enough, this broke before, and it broke the day of the firing, and I'm put in there the Mayco clay mender, and I did that earlier. That one was probably done before bisque actually. Wow, there you go. So it was all a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? It has got too hot. So that was a cone 6 with a medium cone 6 with a 10-minute hold, but I had three shelves, bottom shelf, 2 shelves higher up, but I had also those plate shelves in there. So it clearly has just got too hot. This was a 7, showing you a 7. So see, this didn't explode. So that's a 5, 5.5, 6 and a 7. Clearly I've got that one wrong, haven't I? I suppose it happens to the best of us, doesn't it? We all know that's a month's worth of work, especially when you work for a living, and how easy it can all go wrong. Luckily, nothing in there for anybody. That is just me playing around. And I have got enough information that came out of that kiln to think of things that I like or don't like. So anyway, thank you very much for coming on board and sharing it with me. Speak to you soon.